The Mario Kart Board's media team has come a long, long way. From humble beginnings dating all the way back to Season 8 of WeamFi League in 2016, to the long hiatus between Season 11 and Season 15, to the revamping of the media team in 2019 with Elite League Seasons 3 and 4, to now with our biggest as well as the competitive scene's biggest outreach since the Nintendo Wi-Fi days with the creation of MKPS, which implemented an unprecedented idea of a prize pool, albeit a small one compared to other esports, but still very important for MKWe's push. With the closing of the curtains of the first season of MKPS, let's take a look back at some of the matches that we casted since the resurgence of the media team in 2019 that haven't yet been uploaded to this channel, starting with the Elite League Season 3 Division 1 final between WollywogZ and Sincerely Yours. The competitive scene in the WeamFi era of Mario Kart Wii can be traced back to December 14th, 2014, with the first match in Season 1 of WeamFi League, known as Custom Track League at the time, between Avail and No Surrender. This league only saw 12 teams separated into 3 divisions, but it would grow and expand more and more over time. WollywogZ would join the fray in Season 3, but would lose out to Charge Brigade in the finals of both Season 3 and 4 in a 7GP playoff format. It's also worth noting that a good chunk of the players from modern-day Ethereal such as Jeff, Crash, Noctil, and Hawk were a part of CV back in the day. WollywogZ were boasting the likes of TK, Quinn, Killua, Jas, Iric, and even Fox for a short period of time. But that didn't happen until about Season 7 when he came from Nuclear Energy, and Casper wasn't even part of the community until late 2018. WollywogZ would keep falling short of the mark until Season 7 when they finally reached the top of the heap, and would win again in Seasons 9 and 13, and disbanding from the league setting until Season 3 of Elite League. Their opponents, Sincerely Yours, were formed not too long before Season 3 of Elite League, consisting of several Canatolic Gaming members after they temporarily disbanded. They quickly made a name for themselves as a top team in the game, dominating many teams in Scrim Wars, with their debut in the league setting coming in Season 2 of Elite League in late 2018 and early 2019, but they fell short in the finals to Zephyr, also known as Flow, their time in the community extending all the way back to pre-Weam days, and they were a part of the very first season of WeamFi League, in which they won. Will Sincerely Yours be able to capture gold this time around, or will they fall prey to the veteran team in WollywogZ? This is an MKB Match Rewind.
Hey everybody, thank you for tuning in. Today we have the EL finals between SY and WZ. This is going to be a pretty stacked lineup coming out of both sides. Coming from SY, we have Nick, Jax, Mike, Mura, and Act going backwards, and Casper, TK, Crash, Quinn, and Hawk coming from WZ. Hawk will be the one going backwards in the first match, and the first match is Suicide. Right now, we are waiting just on stability, and we will hopefully be underway very shortly. I am joined by Vincent and Jaggy.
Hello.
What's going on, guys?
So let's talk about Crash and Jax. Let's talk about Crash. He's one of our notable players.
So, I've played with Crash for a long time, and even just watching now, even though he hasn't been playing too often, I would still say he is arguably the best player on WeamFi. Just if you watch any of his streams, from someone who's consistently fast, he's also very safe. So if you take, for instance, someone like Jeff, very, very fast, but he can do some things that may be a little riskier. I feel like Crash is more reserved and going for something that could be considered risky or could potentially end up making a mistake. Jax, on the other hand, also very much in the same boat, very fast. And I don't really think either player tilts too hard, so they're just going to be very solid all the way through.
Yeah, I wanted to add on that, even like the very few matches I played with Crash in IS, he is, very consistent player, I gotta say. I noticed that, like you said, he doesn't tilt very much, and when he does, it's very subtle. It's nothing too big.
All right, it looks like the match just started, so let's get it going.
So coming out, they have opted to go for RBC. We will hopefully see some consistent picks across the board, you think, with this level of severity in this match that picks will be pretty unanimous across both teams. SY did opt to go for Grumble, and then a couple picks for Mushroom Gorge, and then one for DK Mountain. But WollywogZ do get their pick right off the bat.
Yeah, they're middle spots, so it makes sense. 2, 3, 4. It's, you know, they can easily draft first.
So big thing here coming out will be whoever can get past the first item sets while maintaining the lead, as well as if all items get taken. If someone can get a golden in a middle spot around 6th or 7th, they can definitely take over first. Otherwise, spots will be pretty unchanging for the most part early.
Yeah, I definitely think they want to get an early lead here. You know, they don't want to fall too far behind and just get hit with a constant barrage of backs. We do see, is that Miror and Omega swishing all of them?
Yeah, that's Miror. Yep.
So
Miror's making big plays
play
there. Got at least 2 of them right now. Crash and Casper both got knocked down. Quinn looks like he's trimming up a little bit there. And right now, the bagging match is even, but it looks like Hawk got on the stairs first and is winning going backwards.
Yeah, that's a big deal considering that WZ is bottom 3 running, so Shock would definitely be interesting here.
Now, Quinn did shroom through cut, so he probably doesn't have a dodge, and we can tell that Casper obviously does not. And Crash might be the only one who has pulled something in 7th. We'll see if it looks like he changed anything up here. He changed the star, so right now WZ definitely don't have shock. And Jax just ended up getting knocked really far into the back. But yeah. WZ still sitting with mid spots. Looks like they're 2 through 6.
I believe so. We do see
2, 4,
SY.
5, 6.
I think that was SY in first. Yeah. As long as they can hold the run, they could be holding a blue shell too at this point, just for their team. And with shock, if they can keep that, I mean, it could be a pretty solid run.
Yeah, Jax doesn't really look like he's trying to catch up at all there, so it's very possible that he is holding the blue shell back in 8th. And I think Nick is still holding down first, but
we see Casper finally gets a star. So.
With Miror getting back, it looked like it's just Nick up there right now, with Jax likely holding the blue shell.
Do you think at this point they have shock, just from looking at the minimap?
I think that Jax was holding a star. I don't think no, it doesn't look like either one has shock right now. Nope, there's no shock right now. So Casper should chain this.
Yeah.
Just to try to catch up more.
Mm-hmm. We see they are SY is top 2. WZ obviously doesn't want to star his teammate. Yeah, this is looking to be just a top 2 in the end. I don't really see them changing anything.
Someone pulled Bill. I don't know if that was Jax or not, but someone had it. That's risky there coming from Casper. Good thing Quinn went around, blocked the rail, and a solid top 2-6 coming out for SY in the first race of this match.
And if we look at the baggers on the bottom, I don't know who's in 9th, but it's looking to be pretty close. That 1 point does sometimes matter.
I really think that the 9th place battle here is going to be a lot bigger than in other matches. I don't see any one team really breaking away too much in this match. I mean, both of these lineups are incredibly talented, and for as much as people would rag on Nick for his last season's performance with SY, he has stepped it up in huge ways, and just outside of his running capability, his team play is one of the best I've seen.
I would definitely agree with it being like a close match. I don't see anyone being able to completely like run away with the match. I think it'll be definitely a close one. So what pick do you think they'll go for?
So
track pick.
I'm not entirely sure. I think
5, 6.
they could go with something like KC or DDR here. Anything that's a sandwich spot. They could run top 2 DDR and get some bottom spot items potentially. A note to SY are currently up by 15, so pretty good race for them.
I would see it looks like they're gonna go DK Summit. I really thought I could have seen a BC Wii come out, having SY as top 2, and then having Miror be middle spot, able to get an item and take the glitch. I think would have been
That's a very good
probably
point.
a more optimal play. Miror's super consistent at that cut. I don't know if he's become a little more inconsistent due to the fact that it is banned in Mogi Lounge, and he has been playing quite a bit of that. That may be a reason for them to avoid it.
Sure
and
Miror
I
has
know Nick,
practiced
he probably has. I'm sure he's still solid. Even if he hasn't played it enough, he's been so consistent that I'm sure he's able to actually do it fairly consistently. I do know that Nick really does love BK Summit, so that might be a pick for just the top 2 spots here.
We do see Casper with Reds. He actually took out his teammate, but got 2 of them in the process, going for double.
And Nick is off
really
the track.
smart. That was a solid red there.
That was 3 people got hit.
Are they in second though? That is the real question.
He hasn't looked back yet. I'm not sure that
They are.
it is Crash. Yeah.
Gone.
This is a pretty sizable lead already, and third got hit.
Let's see who made the backward strat. That was the
Yeah,
SY bagger.
It doesn't look like WZ made it there, so at this point, SY could get it.
And the fact that shock is so huge on this track in general, just because it's a cannon track, this could be a quick turnaround for SY if they can pull the shock.
I don't know though. This lead, he made double again. This top 2 is getting bigger and bigger.
This whole room is pretty much going to go for double.
Going into cannon, it wouldn't surprise me if like a bunch of middle spots dodged. I don't think they would prioritize top 2, if they even had it.
No, even if WZ had it, there's no way that they would dodge top 2. It just wouldn't be worth it. That's a
Ooh.
good pal for SY.
I did not expect that. This red, okay, he gets a red. He's able to block it. I think the third does have triples though, so this.
And he missed the item there too. He's gonna have to get over the single first.
That was pretty clutch.
A nice avoidance coming out from Casper, and W still holding down top 2. I don't think SY was able to pull a shock, and Miror fails double, and this gap is huge.
This is definitely a good race for WZ. Now they gotta secure middle spots, and we do see SY. We see TK coming up for 5th. Top 2-5 is definitely not bad though. They definitely needed that from first race. Pretty even.
Yeah, that should cancel out pretty nicely there for for WZ. We'll have to see what the scoreboard says here at the end, but definitely a great race coming out from WZ at the least.
Is that a +12, top 2-5?
It depends on what else they get though, but it looks to me like they canceled out that last race for sure.
Just about, yeah. Now WollywogZ is in top 2. I don't. You could probably speak on this more, Wally, but I don't really know what tracks they like in specific for these, like just as a team. You were saying BCV, that's SY, right?
That's SY. I could see them trying to go for BCV even right now, just for the fact that they have it, but they look like they're gonna go for dry, which I think is really questionable. While Crash and Casper can both run that track very well, second place is not great on tracks like Dry and Coconut Mall, solely because of your starting spot there. The angle that you're going to come off with how close you'll be relatively to first is just not beneficial for second, so I don't really like that pick. I think a Maple or a BCV for WollywogZ probably would have been the way to go. Thoughts? You have top 2 run here for WZ, and at the speed that they're going, they should be able to get 2 cuts, and if they don't get hit by Jax, who has triple greens right now, by the time that everyone's going through cut, they're going to get shrooms. Casper does pull one though, in 4th place.
Nice snipe though.
Yeah, Jax had a nice play.
I assume though they were 5-7 starting, so someone definitely has shrooms in their team. Most likely going to go for the rock hop here, and they do make it. And I think a lot of SY failed there, so this could be huge. We do see TK in first, so 1-3-4 it looks like for WZ.
A good spot right now. I assume that TK does have 2 shrooms. Or maybe he had a golden. That is a sizable lead. It might have been a golden for TK. I imagine that Miror, though, does have shrooms. I guess we'll find out here if TK has shrooms or not with that blue shell. Nope,
looks like
he got hit. He did backspam Miror, though, so he did slow him down a little bit. We'll see if Miror gets to go for cut here again. Casper obviously going to take the rock hop here. Oh!
Ooh, I was just about to say
that was a good call. WZ, Hawk must have notified that they had, that SY had the shock. So Casper tried to sneak in with Miror as fast as he could, but just gets called in time. A great shot coming out for SY.
Will there be a second one though? I mean, it was a mid lap 2 shock. There definitely could be time.
Yeah, and Miror did just get blue too, so that gap is now close.
I didn't even see the name.
Act was definitely winning initially. He did get that shock in last, so we'll see if he gets it again.
More triple reds from SY Jaker. Who is that?
That's Jax.
Okay, Jack. I mean, yeah, he's killing a lot of WZ here. These reds. I saw him take out. I think it was TK, but he did have shrooms. Everyone going for respawn. Will there be a shock? Doesn't look like it. It will be a pretty clutch ending here. With oh, he gets bumped. That's not good.
Really bumped. Yeah. 5th place is about if he can hold this. Someone else shrooms up. Mike shrooms up.
Yeah, that's expected.
Yeah, 6-7 for WZ, but 8th place going
that
to
was
SY.
A 1-frame wheelie bump right there. That was pretty unfortunate. It didn't even.
I'm surprised that red on the respawn didn't hit anyone. It kind of just cracked on nothing. Did any of WZ get second though, or second or third? I don't think they got first. I'm pretty sure SY did secure first there, but I assume they got some kind of top spots. Seeing all, oh, okay, I was completely wrong. 1, 3, 6, 7. That's, I think
it's a pretty even race right there. That is a 3-point win for WollywogZ. So it looks like WollywogZ should be up 1 right now. A very tight GP, a very tight war. This is everything you'd expect from an EL final.
That is assuming that the bagger points are as is.
That's true. I would assume that no one has Ignorance is Bliss on, but I guess we could take a look here in just a second.
Correct? Okay, so that's a 92 to 91 for WZ, and so far your guys' predictions have been correct. This is a very close war so far. Very interesting. What do you guys think they'll pick here?
They're 1/3. I definitely think nothing like too committal. Probably something along the lines of like a semi-luck track.
Yeah, with these spots, I don't think track picks matter all that much. Potentially, maybe someone in first who maybe, let's say he's good at MH. He could pick MH for that sake.
I do think DDR is a smart
pretty
pick.
Smart. Yeah, 1-3 could definitely run, and the rest of the players could bag for dodges or goldens to get up there.
It wouldn't surprise me if Casper went wide here for some type of shroom. It does prove me. Oh, I was right. Yeah.
Yep. Interesting spots there. Triple shrooms. I can't imagine Casper holding onto these. Mike got a golden out of Quinn. That's huge.
Yeah, even though this track does have a few big shortcuts to you definitely don't want to fall too far behind.
Absolutely. Just the fact that you can run this entire course is just a testament to that. Falling behind is never a good thing on this course, but this golden is definitely going to catch him up. But look at the break between top 3.
It was a nice pow dodge there. He will still be able to take the ultra. We do see SY, up there, but Casper should be able to break it here. And I'm thinking, is any other dub? Okay, so TK, yeah, he's up there. They're top 2. I definitely think they can run away with this, assuming that Jolly is winning.
WZ's bagger is winning the battle right now, it looks like.
That's huge on this track. Dodging,
yeah, but it's also DDR where you find more 9th place shocks than anything, so it's very possible that Act has it. He does look like he's driving forward, so he very well may have it.
Wouldn't surprise me.
He doesn't look like he's sitting at items. Oh, nope, he had Bill.
Oh. I was going to say maybe an end of lap 2 shock, but looking at it, it'll probably be a very late. Right at the end. Yeah. Someone is in a mega.
Out of here, out of cut. We'll see. Miror looks like he's in 4th. But I don't think anyone's going to be able to break this top 2 from WZ. Oh, a blue shell will.
Actually.
I don't think so. I think Hawk had it when Act was billing. Because Act was in 9th with Bill. So I can't imagine Hawk not having it at this stage.
Looks to be like a good race for WZ.
Late shock there. I don't think many people dodged.
I think it was all WZ though. I do think that is a WZ shock. Everyone else is coming up. And it looks like it was. Top 2. I think Crash was able to beat him out. Top 2-5, top 2-4.
Looking at TK, I'm pretty sure that was top 2-4, which is a actually really strong race. So
to end out that GP, that is a great
Definitely.
Great way to end that GP for WZ.
That's all right. I'm a big person on like the 9th place. 'Cause, I mean, even if you don't get shocked, just getting that 1 point is always big.
I do think bagger point is a bit underlooked, but bagger point can mean the difference between winning and losing. If you have,
I've had it happen so many times.
Anytime I bag, I usually get 8 or 9 points. It has made the difference actually twice before, so it can definitely work.
And was that a plus 12 GP?
120.
Plus,
It was at plus 12, yes. WZ won that GP by 12, so it's still pretty close.
12 points is
Exactly.
nothing. That's, I mean, we saw it. It was one race. It was one solid race. And I don't, the thing about these kind of matches is with how well everyone's going to be all working together as well as they do, I think that this is really going to come down to how well that they utilize the shocks. So I don't think it's going to be a ton of close races. I think it will be very back and forth as people start kind of commanding and getting settled in.
I mean, that's
race
usually,
itself.
that's typically how D1 is. I mean, even if you're down by 40 or something, they have the composure, they have the experience to gather themselves back, rather than say a D4 team who maybe sometimes will give up and just lose by even more.
like you said, all it takes is one race. I mean, a top 4 is a plus 31 or something along those lines. Only takes one big race to come back, and like you said, I don't think they're gonna be. I don't think they're gonna be like there's gonna be two sides.
And I also can't confirm that
other.
this was a WZ track pick.
I really do like this coming out of WZ. Again, I feel the same way about this course that I do about DDR. You don't want to fall too far behind, because after about the first 15 seconds, 20 seconds of this race, spots really don't change too much. Because after this first cut, you really don't see people catch back up unless, you know, people are getting hit. And the players here are really intelligent on how they handle their items and how they handle their back spam. Everything is so well coordinated that you're not going to run into too many people getting hit by it. And a lot of the times you're going to see even WZ players try to avoid backspam by going wide and just being really safe. And I think that's going to really benefit them in the long run as far as being able to maintain their positions and not having too much change. So it's really going to come down to blue shell pools.
Not only that, with you know, the shot kind of being kind of a 50-50 on this track with the two baggers having to sit the boxes. There isn't many shortcuts.
He actually
either,
uses
so
one of the
not
ground
many
greens
places
to avoid the red just to take Shroomba. That was a very good play there. So he's breaking away a little more.
Yeah, he's going to continue building this. He'll probably put this fib around the red shell. Ooh, there was an Ana there. And that was wide. Is he going to put it on the waterfall on the right? That's a smart play. Again, people avoiding by going wide. You're going to have more people run into that.
Looks like he did hit someone. It could have been from WZ.
It was 6th place. I imagine that it... I don't know if it would have been WZ. I feel like that should definitely have been called out. But I also think it should have been called out from SY. So I'm really not sure he would have gotten hit by that.
Third did take cut. I believe that is WZ, correct? Was my eyes deceiving me?
Go for Shroomba here, it looks like.
I think you were correct. I'm pretty sure that's who it was.
Because SY is second, they're the Daisy. I feel like as long as they get a 1-3, as long as Casper doesn't get blued, it should be at least a close race. 1-3 is generally winning.
And I imagine that WZ has shock based off the reactions there from the baggers. So this should be a pretty solid race coming out for WZ here. Casper smartly holding on to that banana and not even pulling it out, just to see if he could bait a red out of second place. He does.
Ooh.
A shock red coming in, and I think that is a WZ shock.
Yeah, it was a shock red. I think they got themselves in the box as well.
And the blue coming in.
Like you
Well, it looked like it was a solid WZ race. It turned into disaster, and SY looks like they got top 2.
I personally don't think that was SY shock. It was too coordinated with the shock red, and the ending we did see SY in a star.
WZ did get 3-4, so it kind of lessened the blow a little bit, but this is still a very good race for SY.
That blue on the line though, that's just very unfortunate. Oh, they actually got fourth there, SY.
I got confirmation that Shock was WZ's and the blue was also WZ's.
Oh wow, that's a double whammy.
That's
right
a big misplay for them, yeah.
Yeah. The dodge there, everyone's going to be predicting that, especially at the end. I think they should have held on to it a little later just to guarantee first, because first is just so big.
Yep.
When it comes to scores. I mean, between first and second, it only looks like it's a 3-point difference, but if that's between two teams, it's a 6-point swing. And 6 points when you're only trying to race to 31 to win the race is quite
Guess what,
sizable.
guys?
Not only that, that spot is very predictable.
And
Going to the track selection.
yeah, SY are actually winning by 1 now. So again, close as fuck.
It wouldn't surprise me if they did go Gardens. WZ they're all bad spots. Yep. Makes sense. And the obvious TF pick, since they're top 2 and 4, I like that.
Yeah, just very, very standard. You pick TF if you're top 2-4, if you're top 4.
MC3 is
So what do you think WZ's gonna have to do here to get up there and not let them just break away?
I think you got to be cautious with, if you're WZ, you really want Casper to draft Miror here. It gives them a chance to break into the top, and if he can just hold that spot for a little bit, it gives WZ a chance to catch back up, assuming that they get items here. The big thing for WZ is you cannot hold your items. You have to use it. If you get a golden, you want to use it right here. This spot's actually really good. You don't get that side-to-side movement while you're streaming on the conveyors, and that is a big bonus because that does save quite a bit of time. And then your golden can end right before you get into the factory section here. What I will be seeing is a lot of people going for Shroomless here, so you could be looking out for SY to maybe block the Shroomless with a Fib or a couple Nanas, just to try to make it a little tougher for WZ since it is just Miror right now in the front.
They did get a nice snipe on him, and triple shrooms in first from Casper. This is looking really good for WZ. They turned that
It
around
actually did
really
bounce
quickly.
off the wall there, but it was still a decent snipe in the end.
Yeah, I mean, it's still solid. If anything, it was even more impressive in the sense that Miror probably wasn't able to block it with his red that he pulls out.
I think
that was a nice shroom spot because not only is he breaking away from his teammate, but I doubt there'd be more than 2 blues. So definitely is smart.
That was a close call there on the Shroomless a little bit.
Oh, man.
And a nice low jump coming out from Casper. Just really solid overall. By the looks of this, you could almost estimate that WZ could be holding blue here.
What about Shock though? That we
no
haven't
one
really
has
talked
Shock
about that.
right now. It looks like they're just kind of starring each other just to see what they could do, but I don't think anyone has Shock, and I imagine this is going to be a Shockless race.
This is looking pretty
If
big for
SY
WZ right now. Assuming
if
they're
SY
still
can pull
second.
Shock, they could TS them after this big ramp up here that just passed. But
The blue and the Shock.
Is the
Will it
Shroom gone?
matter?
The blue explosion got rid of the Shroom. That does slow him down quite a bit, but first is still his. Top 2 secured for WZ. But it looks like everything behind them is coming in for SY. So a nice salvage there for SY.
yeah, it looks like they did get 4, 5, 6.
All
yeah.
middle spots. Depending on bagger point though, that's not too bad of a race for WZ or SY.
That was a +5 race in the end for WZ.
Looking at that though, do you think they'd still go Gardens? Because I mean, they still are 7, 8, 9.
I wouldn't though, because mid spots could easily pull Shrooms if they get lucky. I would definitely go with a track like possibly CM or yeah, CM would work actually because you could run top spots.
I would agree.
Yeah. Okay.
I think if you go Gardens, you really want to make sure that you don't give up 8th place box. Yes, you can get good items even in 5, 6, 7, but I don't think it's worth giving up the 8th place box to anyone. And I think if you want any chance at being able to hold down a top spot starting on Peach Gardens, you have to make sure that your team is going for that 8th place box, whoever is farthest in the back.
You don't want to give them that free golden.
Exactly. You don't want to give them that opportunity. But BC3 coming in. This will be interesting. Miror is going to be going for Ultra, I'm sure. So it'll be a matter of, do WZ want to stick someone on Miror at Ultra and just try to troll him for a while and just sacrifice one of the runners if they believe that they can hold down the other top spots?
I think it's
coming in. Another nice attempt coming in from Casper. He does get the SY person in third, but does miss Mike. We'll see if Mike decides that he wants to block cut.
We do see Casper going for Ultra. That is actually surprising. And he barely doesn't make it.
Just short. I don't think he gets the respawn here.
No.
He does
I was
not.
Gonna say, I think it would have been smart to block it from the beginning, but we do see some of WZ take it. Along with
Miror does slow down and mega one of them from WZ. So it really is kind of what you'd expect coming out in BC3 fashion.
From the looks of it, SY is all top spots though, so this could be rough with no shock for WZ.
And right now, Act is winning the backwards race, so we'll see if Hawk either pulls it in 9th, or if Act goes for the backwards strat to jump back over towards the shortcut and fail it or not. And it looks like Hawk just had to jump off, so he was holding Bill.
Seeing that SY is top 4, I mean, they get an easy block at the shortcut. You know, one of them has to have a banana, and they could definitely double block it. We might see Casper go for Ultra, and no. And
I don't think it's worth the risk at that point. If he pulls shrooms there, he definitely is right back in this race. But it's not worth risking that at this stage, especially if SY is all top spots. You almost guarantee them getting everything at that point.
If
Casper
WZ
pulling a
does
mega, so we could see a good WZ shock if they do have it. I don't think that Hawk has it though. I would venture to say if anyone does have it at this point, it is Act, and it will be held. The only situation that you might see is if WZ goes to unblock the cut, that they could potentially shock there to try to stop WZ from taking it.
Worth it.
At this point, it was WZ's shock for sure. That was quick coming out.
Looks like they did get TS though along the way.
But if TK unblocks this cut, nope.
Yeah, that was definitely a misplay. Seeing as he did get greened after, I think they should have let Casper take cut and at least get one top spot. Like you said, that first place does really matter.
Absolutely. With the setup that they had, Casper definitely would have been able to take over first, especially with first staying smaller from the shock longer. I think that really needed to be the play there for WZ. If TK unblocks that, Casper's got a chance, but instead now they get bottom 2 spots out of it.
That was looking pretty rough for WZ. Strong showing from SY though. They just kind of held sure. You did say it was WZ's shock, but they just kind of ran away with it. I assume shock was pulled at the near the end, so probably wasn't much room to coordinate something.
Yes,
but Jaggy, do you have the score after that?
207 to 220, so SY are currently up 13.
So that was a WZ shock, but Act did have it. He ended up losing it just slightly.
Now, if you're SY, what would you go? Definitely BC Wii, I think, though.
I think BC Wii's the play.
Especially since Toad's Factory's already been played.
I did not get to see what spot did Miror get that race. He got more of a bottom one, right?
I think 6, something.
6.
Like yeah.
While I don't personally feel that Daisy is good on Maple, this would be the time to pick it if you wanted to do something like that. For the fact that you can have Miror hop and cut and potentially catch up if he pulls a golden or just even hold a dodge for that entire race. Also, it's PGR, so it doesn't really matter. So this will be key. I think SY should really make sure that whoever is their bottom spot stops and does not give WZ a chance to get that 8th place box.
We do see Casper stop. He gets 1 shroom. Like you said, I think SY got the box.
Yeah, Jax was in last, so that's huge. But right now, WZ is top 2.
He potentially could have pulled Bill or a star. He could be holding something.
A nice push from Nick coming out, putting Casper into the wall. So we do have top 2 WZ. Quinn had some nice back spam coming out on Nick.
SY definitely has shrooms in 3-4-5. Some of them. Wouldn't surprise me if a lot of them are holding extra triples from first lap. And we do
But
see
this
a couple
is
of
big
them.
here.
A star and a mega and a blue. I definitely think not. Yeah, they're.
Those are big items coming out from SY, especially since they were able to chain in mid spots. You have to imagine, ooh, that PAL's a nice save actually for WC, because I imagine that top 2 had shrooms at least in one of them. So right now, this race,
unfortunate TC.
yeah,
I
and he was
think
almost
if he,
able to pass it to Hawk.
yeah, I was gonna say passing it to the bagger would have been big. I haven't really been paying attention to the bagging war. I did see.
It's kind
was
of
that Axe
unfortunate
was
with that
winning?
TC because the bagger hit a ground item, so he ended up going underneath the bagger.
Yeah, had a chance there for sure. And a single red in 7th is not what Casper needs at this stage of the race. And
There is still
both
2
baggers are
items,
still going
though.
backwards.
Definitely can pull a star to a golden on this track bet.
It looks like Hawk
Dog.
gave up and is going straight forward to 9th.
There's the star. If they do have it, this could be big. SY we do see is looks like 5-6-7, so
SY is holding it for sure.
golden coming up.
And
a
it's gonna be
few,
called
but
right
he's
here.
killed. I don't want to see Quinn red. Okay.
Oh, Quinn
And
did get the red off.
He gets bumped to the line 2-3.
One,
That was actually a
1-4-5 for SY.
pretty clutch bump. I think was that Miror that got
Yeah,
slaughtered
Miror
there?
got pushed at the line. Yep, he got put into
That's
the wall.
problem with going Daisy.
That is definitely one of the downsides to Daisy. You do get thrown around a little bit more, but it does give you the benefit of being able to avoid back spam
As well as
a lot
trolls
easier
as well.
than you would expect to.
I think that's
Yes.
a pretty even race, and it probably came down to bagger points,
That was a
which
+1
looks like
race for
4-0 in
WZ.
WZ's favor.
It did.
Really
24
close.
point GP win there coming out for SY. Just completely flipped the score there. But like we said last GP, this is a 1 race match right now. And really it's just, I think it's going to come down to who could perform in both bagging and who's going to get their track picks. I think that's really going to be a
picked the
big
format in this match?
determination on who comes out ahead. WZ, they were the higher seed, so WZ picked Suicide.
Believe track picks have been a little in WollywogZ favor.
If you're SY,
just
though,
from looking.
would you pick trolling second match?
It depends.
Yeah, that's right.
Who would be the troller?
It's still Act. It would still be Act. The thing is, what do you value more at this stage, right? So you have Hawk, who's a very experienced bagger, and for the most part, he has been getting more shocks. So do you want to put Hawk in a format that he's a little less comfortable in? Or do you say, we won the
Very
first match,
interesting thought, though.
we can do it again?
I think
it's a
if
matter
it ain't
of
broke,
risk and
don't
reward
fix
at that
it. So I
point.
think maybe SY could potentially pick Sui next match if they win this, of course.
If I was SY, if I take this first match, I would probably stick with Suicide. Just for the sense that if you look at WZ's lineup, their racers, every single one of them are big
Exactly.
people who Mogi. They're all accustomed to dodging items and getting hit as little as possible. And I think that alone is enough to warrant SY not going for trolling. But right now, we're in DK Mountain. Mura's the host, and he started first, so this is a track where he can just run away with it. However, Casper pulling the POW is actually
You
big.
could potentially just
Pow
target
is so
Mura
strong on this
mainly,
course.
especially since the spots are very mixed up.
And
I don't think it's
While
worth
he-
target powering Mura here. I think he holds onto it for a little bit. And, ooh, Quinn pushes him almost off.
I was gonna say if they can somehow bump, the Daisy or Mirror off at the bridge, that would be huge. You definitely don't want to give the Daisy a break here. They just run away with it.
Yeah, and right now spots are pretty solid, so I don't see them changing anytime soon. I do wonder if, yeah, he's going to try to get rid of it and force a dodge out of Nick. He does.
Was that a
I
WZ
believe,
shot
SY.
or SY? didn't know
It
if they were
definitely seemed like
predicting-
SY, and a rare mistake coming out from Casper, hitting that ground green. You don't
Vincent
expect to
Golden's
see that
definitely
too
gonna
often.
spam this. He needs to get up there. There's no reason to hold on to that.
Yeah,
A
especially
favorable
'cause
chain.
he does get another set at an item here before he has 2 chances, especially if he pulls triple shrooms, which he does. We'll probably try to spam him here. Yep, gets rid of him. A star, good pool, not something that's gonna catch you up. If you have shock, it's good. Otherwise, at this point, ooh, that hurts. Yeah, just use it.
We see WZ entering cannon 2-3. Miror is gonna get blued after, so this could be big.
Barely got through that bomb in time. So this is a favorable position right now for WollywogZ. Getting that blue thrown now. We'll see if Miror slows down. He doesn't. He didn't want to risk it. And then a TC pull in 7th for Casper. Not a good position to be in for him, but doing the dirty work for his team. Miror got comboed, and it looks like WZ is probably going to lock down top 2 here.
Running, I think that's WZ's bagger running
why
away with
having-
shock, possibly, or just yeah. I think they will get a very good race here, WZ.
Yeah, 3 of the bottom 4 racers coming out for SY. A huge race probably for WollywogZ. We'll have to see when the results hit.
I'd say top 3 most likely.
Yeah, especially
That
if you got
blue was huge,
if Miror did get comboed at least one more time. For sure, yeah.
SY wasn't
Pulling
able
that
to
blue
get
is
numbers
massive.
up there besides Miror, so one blue can end the match just like that.
Top 3 coming in for WZ. Completely flips the score. Now, this is a big opportunity for WollywogZ to kind of seal the deal if they get a big track pick here.
I think
they can
now
put
is
it potentially out of reach.
definitely when they want to go BC week. Especially when they're their top 3 starting.
I think WZ is probably going to go Moonview.
So yeah,
That'd be another good pick,
WZ
yep.
are currently up by.
I would agree
7
with any
now.
of that. Still super close.
Yeah, still a very close match. I think if WZ can get a big front-running track pick and they can put another top 3 on the board, it will be very difficult for SY to make it back out of that. With only 2 races to go after that, it would be a tall order, and it does look like they are picking Moonview.
In the case that WZ does get another good race, the thing SY needs to do is stay in the game. Don't get discouraged. Tilting, like you said, I don't think it's a big factor, but it definitely can happen.
Yeah, I think that would come down to a matter of pressure as opposed to tilting.
Exactly, yeah.
I do think the biggest thing to remember when you're in that situation is don't try to get it all back at once. Right? If you're down a good amount, you have 2 races, just focus on winning the race.
But you see Casper with a mega here. This could be big if he wants to slow down and slow on, but WZ 134, he might just hold on to it for a shot.
There is a decent gap right now. He may slow down and hit whoever's streaming up right now, but I would imagine he just holds on to this as long as he can.
Surprised he did not use it there to dodge the red. Maybe switch a few people. Looking at it, we see the bagging war is pretty close, so...
It was
At this
interesting
point,
that
it
it was
could
so
be anyone.
stagnated there. I'm surprised that no one went through the boxes to start that.
Still a pretty quiet race with WZ.
Does look like
is
someone
close,
has
yeah.
shock right now. So this is very telling that currently SY likely have the shock, or they're just doing some mind games back and forth right now.
We see the Lucky Shrooms in 4th. Is that Ataturk holding out the... holding
It
out the
is.
red?
Yep, Nick's holding out the red.
Casper definitely being
Actually,
cautious.
no, one of them's being chased.
Yeah. Yeah, someone's likely has
There it
it.
is.
Again, unless it's mind games. Yep, SY does pull the trigger on it. I do think that that's preemptive.
I think it was smart. They were falling behind, and if they think maybe they can get a second one, it wasn't a bad idea. We do see WZ pulls a TC though, and 2 of them fall off from 2 people from each team, which is actually kind of surprising.
Yeah, right now this is a really close race. Again, oh, Quinn's off. So is that top 3 right now for SY? This This is looking pretty good. He
This
does
POW
get the
could be big. He's gonna need to target POW them here.
He needs to POW now. He needs to
Very
get
smart
rid of
decision
his
I
from
assume
red,
Red
so
to
he's
go
gonna
down there though.
Yeah. And a good call from Casper to avoid it. This Shroom can potentially put him into second, but I do think that Jax is going to run away with it. But he's going to risk the chain. Oh, he chains into boxes. A TC, actually a great pull here.
He doesn't want to get... Okay, perfect. He did not pass it, so looks like second place is his, but SY all behind?
135. It looks
134
like
from the looks of it.
TK just stole. Actually, not TK, but a WZ player did steal fourth, I believe, from the looks of it. So it looks to be like a 135 for SY. Still a very good race.
I'd say about an even race. So
there is one thing that I do want to point out that I think Casper could have done a little bit better there. So right before that shock, his teammates were behind him. I know he wanted to push forward just a little bit more with that shroom, but if he drops that shroom at the box for his teammate and they can go through that box and get that shroom, they could have potentially had 2-3 there.
yeah, he probably just wasn't thinking about it.
And that's something that you don't see a lot of people doing. When you know that shock's happening, your initial instinct is try to get rid of your items as quickly as possible. Happens to everyone, and even some of the best players out there aren't going to be thinking that far ahead. The ones that you're going to see do that are the ones where you know that each little bit is going to make a difference and can affect the entire outcome of the war, especially in a game of inches, just like this war is.
I did want to point something out. Casper on his stream said he's sweating his ass off, so I think he definitely wants to win this. Just
Here's another
seeing his
another
performance
close
and
match alert. WollywogZ down by 2.
mhm. Yeah, I think he's definitely pressured. Just looking at it.
And with 2 races to go, it
This
really
is typical
doesn't get
D1.
much closer than that. This is about all that you can watch. This is
Especially-
all you can ask for coming out of Mario Kart.
It's less than a 10-point gap, I believe.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's a
like,
2-point match.
Oh my
This is,
gosh.
and it does pick BC Wii, so let's just see what Miror can do here.
I think from here they should definitely block Glitch. There's Miror. They don't want him running away with it. I know a few of the Funkies can do it, but it's very inconsistent. Funky.
Yeah, I think that this is one where if you believe that Miror is going to be able to take care of the glitch and take it at least once, you need to block it. You don't want to give up first place, especially with only 2 races to go.
Yeah, some people may say it's just one player, but first really is huge. We see
Casper's
Casper going
fishing
on the
for
right,
items.
maybe
Yeah,
going
he
for a
can block
shroom
it
here.
right now, yes.
Nope, he does get nanas.
Blocks it. Yep.
I think he missed it. I think Miror can still
Ooh.
take it, but Miror
That green was
did not go
weird.
for it.
That green was definitely bit of a laggy green. Yeah. We see they're surrounding Casper. Looking at the baggers, it's very close. So WZ or SY gets a shock. This could be a huge game changer.
TC coming in, I think that was SY that had it, so 2-3 right now for WZ is pretty
Nice.
good right now. Oh, a nice Nana coming out from Jax, and then a red after that. Casper drops down all the way to 7th.
I'm assuming some of WZ is holding dodges just from probably TK, maybe Quinn with a Mega. That's probably what they're relying on, and now Casper with a star. So
And it looks like Hawk might have shock there.
I think that's
Oh, it-
definitely what they're bagging on here, banking on.
But TK and his star, maybe they don't. It looks like SY might have it then.
He could be trying to force him out of dodges. Like you said, maybe SY pulled it. We see Ataturk
Yeah.
with triple reds. This is big.
It looks
he
like
kills 2
WZ's
of them,
bagger
and
built
Quinn has a
ahead of the
TC.
SY bagger, so yeah, SY definitely do have shock. He's just sitting at the ramp back there on the bottom if you see it.
They are second, and that's
Another
a nice Mega
TP
pull.
pulled for Quinn.
And I'm actually really surprised at that shock. I wouldn't have guessed in this caliber of room they would have done something that obvious, but I guess it worked. None of WZ dodged, or was that on
That's not
SY or
for- Wait, if
WZ?
you're talking about the shock, it was
Attention.
SY.
Okay,
Yeah,
yes,
and
because
they
they
dodged one on the
TS.
star as well.
Yeah, we see. Yeah.
Oh, Casper risks it there. Doesn't
Yeah,
get the payoff, and
wasn't
it
much
looks
else
like
he could have done.
yeah. I think at that point you do have to risk it, especially if you do think that you have a decent chance of making it. Casper, someone who really does believe in his abilities,
Bottom 3, it looks
definitely
like
worth risking it there. However,
Oh, sorry. I
well,
apologize.
Casper's in last, but it didn't look like Miror was even that far. Yeah, so 2 of bottom 3 at least for SY. So unless Nick was all the way up in the front, I think that's the only one who was else up there. I think I saw Jackson Mike as
Yeah, I
6,
do
or
apologize.
as 7 or 6-7.
Yeah.
And
Apologies.
Miror
I
looked
kinda
like he was
laughed
a
at
mid
that.
spot.
I think that shock
Top
was a
two.
little weird.
It was top 2 for SY.
I was just a little confused. Was the shock? Was that a TS on WZ or SY? Because I could have sworn SY was first, and you said it
I
was.
think it was Quinn. No, Crash. I think Crash was in first at that point. Because TK was right ahead of Casper.
I was gonna say I on that track I really I'm a strong believer that like last ramp's a lot better than that ramp.
So-
But they would know.
I think the split section is probably the most optimal, but I think sometimes when you know that you're the one in last, if Act just doesn't hit a box and you're making Hawk have to hit it in 9th with Bill available, is a lot harder to pull that off. So I think it's one of those shocks where even though it's obvious, you don't really expect it to come out at that stage because of the potential second shock at the end there. And Maple coming out for SY, getting their track pick at this stage with top 2 is huge.
And it's a cannon track. We've played 3 cannon tracks so far, including Maple now. So I know I said this every time, but yeah, shock's gonna be huge here. This track in general, there's just a lot of
WZ have had the better
good
of
shocking
SY
spots.
in those cannon tracks, so we'll see what they do here. Let's see if they keep it up.
Golden Casper has to use this at the Wiggler section to catch up. There's really no reason at that point to save it any longer than that. He could even start it while on the branch turn here. We'll see if he does. But he has to break into their top 2. And he's going to hold it all the way until it cut. That's risky with the potential of a POW behind you. And just getting pushed around like this.
We do see TK with reds. Maybe he'll try to shroom past him. I don't know. I definitely think
onto
TK
that
should.
shroom was lucky. I think TK needs to keep driving as fast as he can at this point. No reason to try to slow him down. Casper does do the golden strat to get through the cut. And that should break him into second or first, maybe.
He definitely wants to get in Canada with him if they do have shock.
Yep, he breaks into second.
Triple greens. This is pretty big. Seeing that they're all around him, he has the protection. He won't be getting hit anytime soon.
Yeah, and he needs to hold on to these for dear life at this point. The fact SY has 1-3, if he risks going for the snipe here, that is a problem. But you also have to realize, like, you are down 13. You need to be able to get a top 3 out of this.
I would watch out for the fib here if he did pull one. Yeah, that was the only thing that can really stop him. Will he trap the right branch? Okay, Casper doesn't even want to risk it. Yeah,
Right now, Jax only has 1 item. It's not worth the risk, so don't do that. At this point, he could probably trap here, knowing that he's about to get another item. There's the fib right there.
And the combo, and yeah. Wow.
And
Wait, that was
huge.
WZ.
No, it had to have been SY getting top just first or top 2 because Miror did dodge it on a mega there.
They must have
Looks like
barely
only
not
first
gotten
odds
second
there.
cannon though.
Yeah, it's safe. You get first, you win. First place wins the war outright at this point.
You're right. Yeah, they're gonna need a miracle here. I don't think unless they pull a blue, but it's looking over
Yep.
this first match. Yeah.
Oh.
And that'll do it. SY
Wow.
will go ahead and take match 1.
That's crazy. I thought that was a bad play with the
Yeah.
shock at first, but that was actually really smart. Just getting
Yeah, no,
first.
just securing first at this stage. The only thing that makes you completely have a chance at losing at that point is at least 1 blue. So at that point, you can roll that dice. You take your chances.
That was
And
pretty
you
much the
also
only
had-
thing that could have killed him was the blue.
Yeah, and you're guaranteed Miror was up there too with a Mega, so like even if you don't get first and that gets blued, you're still looking pretty solid there.
It would be smarter for SY to pick Suicide, especially since they already got the win. Might as well continue with the momentum. Exactly.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right?
There is one risk that you do run by having that, and that is the fact that Hawk has not bagged in quite a
That's
while.
very true.
Hawk being noted as one of, if not the best bagger to ever do it. That is also risky. You give him potentially 3 matches on Suicide, and he did outbag Act overall. But that's why I played really well. So that's the other thing. Do you run the risk of, hey, you know, Hawk played well at the time and he's only gonna get scarier? Do you go ahead and mix it up on him and force him to try to troll?
Good points.
So will be interesting to see what happens and what SY decides to do.
I think if SY loses the second game, I think maybe that would be a good time to try to switch it up. But for now, I think Sui worked for them.
Get the pick in the
They
third
should
match.
probably stick with it.
Yeah,
Oh, you're right.
it's all good, man.
Bad.
Yeah, so I have the individual scores here too. Jax got first overall with 114, Nick got second with 98, and TK got third for WZ at 94. So Jax really with a big pop off. And then after that, everyone else was pretty even.
I was gonna say I don't suspect that anyone would have LVP. It looked like for the most part, there was a lot of scoring.
There was a pretty significant drop off after WZ's top 3 with TK, Casper, and Crash ranging from 89 to 94. Quinn drops off down at 76, whereas on SY's side, after Nick's 98, it's a drop off to Mura at 82 and Mike with 75.
I'd say
So-
76 is respectable though. It's not below average by any means.
I think when it comes to a bagging war, it's not great, but someone's going to be scoring down there, especially when someone like Jax puts up 114. The points are just going to work out that way. So I think what it really boils down to for the next match is where is the distribution going to happen? Because right now you really do have just 2 people from SY doing a bulk of the scoring in Jax and Nick, whereas WZ's point distribution is much more even with TK 94, Casper 92, Crash 89. That's something that even though you lost, 1, it's only by 14, and 2, you have everyone able to just put up a very similar amount of points, and that is a huge confidence boost, I think, for WZ going into the next match.
I find it funny Casper's time trialing BCE. I don't know if that's out of rage from the BCE race or what.
Yeah, he didn't really get to drive on it, and I think that just might be part of it. A lot of his time was spent in the back or just avoiding items and trying to block glitch, so he didn't actually he didn't take the left side any of the 3 laps. So
Well, he did have to block it lap 1, which was smart.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was a necessity for sure for WZ, but I do think that maybe that's just part of the reason why Casper wants to time trial it.
And I'm not quite sure. These next matches, do they have to use the same lineup or no? Can there?
No,
be...
you can make substitutions.
Shall we take a quick break?
Yeah, we could take a quick few-minute break while Casper does some warming up for the next match, and we'll see you guys in the room.